Here lies the remains of Piogama Pinto. Pinto was a dedicated socialist, journalist, Pan-Africanist, freedom fighter, and a son of Kenya. He was buried in present-day City Park. On the 24th of February, different member organizations from the Kenya Left Forum met to commemorate his death.
I came to Nairobi in 1964, and we heard of Pinto's death in 1965 when we studied too. It pained us, even as children.
What were his actions that made you feel so pained during his death?
Pinto was a portrait of liberation. A person who spoke on behalf of us, talked about a nation that benefits its people, came out in the open to talk about equality, talk about dignity of our people.
Pinto's was the first assassination to happen in post-independence Kenya. He founded Sauti ya KANU and Pan-African Press and was at the helm of both publications. He was a perfect socialist in capitalist Kenya, had nothing to his name, and his wife Emma was the breadwinner of the family. His family home was a gift from an admirer.
He was one of those Asians who got so deep in the Mambo struggle. Kumbuka wakati the Mambo Central Council was formed in Kiburi House, which is today neglected and it should be reclaimed. Pinto was there in terms of Nairobi, supplying arms akina Nakagia, na akina Kubai, and he was detained during the times of Obama. He was the agent of the entire movement against Kenyatta Pingineko. And that's why he was the first person to be assassinated by the new regime. Kumbuka, he is still the same person who was sent to be hide the Lumumba Institute.
He was a freedom fighter, organizing and arming Mau Mau rebels in Kenya. He also backed other liberation movements in Africa and was against land grabs in Kenya. Pinto broke the apartheid rules that were imposed by the colonial British government to segregate people by entering European hotels in Nairobi and Mombasa in the early 1950s and refusing to leave until being forcibly removed by the police. These bold statements by Pinto and his friends helped lead to the subsequent abolition of these draconian laws on non-whites. According to his brother, Rosario da Gama Pinto, Pio received frequent death threats and was even aware of a plan to kill him by prominent politicians. Although disturbed by the plot, he carried on as normal until his assassination. Malcolm X was a Black American freedom fighter, racial injustice and civil rights activist. He visited Kenya in 1959 and found that he and Pinto had a lot in common. Together, they thrashed out a strategy on how to liberate Black people in America and those in Africa. Pinto inspired X to be a Pan-Africanist and not just a Black nationalist, leading to the formation of the Organization of Afro-American Unity in 1964 by X. 3 days before Pinto X was assassinated on the 21st of February 1965 in New York. And just like Pinto, he had also received threats to his life. Both were seen as a danger to the powers of the day by speaking out on the injustices and atrocities of the status quo. Malcolm X and Piogama Pinto were both visionaries whose destinies intertwined to leave an indelible mark on history.